Coming up next on Win News, police hunt a driver who evaded officers at speed. Why part of Hobart's Waterfront was shut down, and we'll have all the action from the Launceston Carnival.
Across Tasmania, this is Win News.
Tonight, Wild Oats 11 claims a record 9th line honours win, but not without controversy. An abandoned esky forces part of Hobart's Waterfront to lockdown, and crowds flock to the 30th Taste of Tasmania. Good evening, I'm Tanya Dendrinos. Also tonight, police hunt a man who evaded officers at speed through Launceston, and concerns raised as UTAS snaps up another Hobart hotel. Wild Oats 11 has made up for the disappointment of last year's protest loss by claiming a record-breaking 9th line honours win in one of the closest Sydney-Hobart yacht races in history. Win News sports reporter Brent Costelloe has been covering the race and joins us now. Brent, sounds like it's all happening down there. Tell us about that thrilling finish.
Yeah, look, Tanya, it's a party atmosphere. As you can hear, the bands just started behind me. And who would have predicted at the start of the race that the first 4 yachts would all arrive in Hobart within about 45 minutes of each other?
Thank you very much, everyone.
Brent Costelloe, Win News.
Amidst all the action of the big race, police were forced to shut down a section of Hobart's busy waterfront this morning after an esky was found unattended. While no buildings were evacuated, Hunter Street between Davey Street and Mac 1 was closed as a precaution, with the bomb squad called in. The object was x-rayed and given the all clear around an hour later. Police are hunting a man who sped away from a random breath testing operation in Launceston overnight before driving at speed through the CBD. His reckless actions come as a family continues to mourn the death of an 18-year-old man killed in Tasmania's south yesterday.
A tragic Christmas on the state's roads. The 18-year-old female driver involved in the horror crash at Denali remains in a critical condition with serious internal injuries. Police say the Ute is a 2010 model with a hard top and silver mag wheels. Holly Corbett, Win News.
Up to 30 staff have been left without a job after the University of Tasmania snapped up another Hobart hotel for student housing. With a move-in date set for early next year, some are concerned about the impact it will have on the state's tourism industry.
Around 100 students will soon be calling this well-known hotel home as part of UTAS's plan to ease its student housing crisis.
Perfect conditions have greeted crowds as thousands flock to the first day of the Taste of Tasmania. The event is now 30 years old and today proved extra special for some festival stalwarts.
An iconic Tasmanian event, officially opened with a tribute to the traditional owners of the land.
Coming up next on Win News, the program ensuring all Tasmanians have access to vital oral health services and meet the critically endangered pair now calling Launceston home. A year since Tasmania's Royal Flying Doctor Service welcomed its first ever full-time dentist to the team. Dr Larika Strickland has been working in the far west of Tasmania to ensure everyone has equal access to oral health services.
It's the same routine every Monday morning. The RFDS dental teams pack their 2 mobile units at the Launceston Airport base.
2 white-cheeked gibbons have spent their first day on display at Tasmania Zoo near Launceston. The 7-year-old female named Nu and 6-year-old male Tian appear to be settling in well.
You can see them swinging around quite comfortably. They're very confident. They've started making their morning territory calls.
Sport is next with the latest on Tasmania's Christmas Carnival series, and Brent Costelloe rejoins us from Constitution Dock as the first Tasmanian yacht crosses the finish line in the Sydney Hobart.
This report brought to you by Mazda. It's all go with 2018 plate clearance on now.
Costelloe here on Hobart's Waterfront alongside Sydney Hobart Line Honours winner Wild Oats 11. It's been almost 10 hours since you arrived here at Constitution Dock following one of the closest races in the event's history. This morning I caught up with the winning skipper and it's fair to say he was in a very happy place. Mark Richards, what does it mean right now to be here? 9 times first to Hobart.
Oh mate, look, yeah, speechless. It really is. Just what an amazing event that was for ocean racing and for sailing, for the Rolex, for everyone involved. But
meanwhile, in the Launceston to Hobart, line honours favourite The Fork in the Road and main challenger Tilt have been sharing the lead throughout the day, with File Pro and Rad fighting it out for third position, while Footloose and Lawless are locked in an intense duel for handicap honours. At this stage, the first yachts are expected to cross the finish line at late morning or early afternoon tomorrow. In the Melbourne to Hobart, Oscana was cruising down the state's west coast by lunchtime with a significant lead over the rest of the fleet. Christine has been forced to retire and is heading to Devonport with an engine water intake issue. Australian athletic star Stuart McSwain will be among those taken to the track this evening as part of the Latrobe Carnival. Now in its 122nd year, the event features wood chopping, cycling and running. Among the highlights still to come are the 1600 metre open handicap final, which kicks off shortly, followed by the men's wheel race final. Meanwhile, Tasmanians tasted success overnight, taking out key events at the Launceston Carnival. Among them was hometown hero Josh Duffy, who backed up his Rosebery win to smash the track record.
Fresh from his honeymoon, Launceston's James Hansen wasn't sure about his form.
And that is a big day in sport. Stay with us. Chris Polzot joins us with the weather after the break.
This report brought to you by UTAS. Stronger in Tasmania than ever.
Welcome back. It's been a mostly sunny Friday today with some hot conditions for those away from the coast. Tonight's weather photo is from Alison. Alison snapped some beautiful California poppies, soaking up that lovely sunshine in the garden. Thank you so much there, Alison. Wonderful shot. Having a look now at some temperatures and details from around the state today. A warm start of 18 degrees as the sun rose in Launceston and was on the cusp of 30 by midday. Smithton topped out with its max temperature about 12 o'clock. Winds were gusting at Swansea. Northwesterlies were pushing about up to 48 k's, and some sensationally strong winds at Mount Wellington today, gusting to 95 kilometres an hour, and a little bit cloud about in Hobart, 21 degrees. On the satellite and synoptic, a high over the Tasman Sea is directing a northerly flow over Tasmania. This will shift northwesterly with a prefrontal trough overnight before an associated cold front brings a westerly change. Onto the waters. In the north, winds up to 20 knots with swells below a metre. In the east, winds up to 25 knots with 1.5 metre seas. In the south, seas up to 4 metres on swells up to 3 metres. And in the west, winds up to 30 knots with 3 metre swells. Now, a marine wind warning has been issued for the following areas, so for those heading out, do take caution, and for the latest information, please visit the Bureau's website there. Having a look at the forecast now for tomorrow. Rain will fall statewide, but it will be lighter about the southeast. Isolated thunderstorms are expected about the north and west before contracting to the far northeast in the morning, and the central north and Midlands will have a very high fire danger. Now interstate tomorrow, it will be sunny in Sydney, wet and overcast in Cairns, and mostly sunny in Alice Springs. Looking ahead back home, Burnie will have a sunny end to the week with mostly sunny conditions leading up to the new year. Launceston will have mostly sunny conditions before a sunny start to 2019. And for Hobart, partly cloudy conditions, and they'll carry over into next week. That's a wrap on weather for this week. Have a wonderful weekend, Tanya.
Thanks, Chris, and thanks for your company tonight. Good night.